Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're going to be looking back at my 2025 Japanese progress. I believe I started learning Japanese it was somewhere around August, possibly July of 2024. So I was a few months in at that point. But as I've said in previous videos, I did waste like 2 to 3 months on Duolingo. The real progress came when I started WaniKani, and I have the date. I started WaniKani on November 12th of 2024. So that's when I actually started learning some kanji. I think at that point I had messed with a bunch of different small apps. I was able to read hiragana, katakana to a point. I mean, even if you look at my most recent videos, katakana still escapes me a lot. But by January, I only had about a month and a half of WaniKani under my belt. So I probably didn't even know 100 kanji if I had to take a guess, because WaniKani starts very slow. It takes forever to just get through the first 3 levels from what I remember. So come January, I had close to zero listening comprehension. I could probably understand like hello, thank you, single word things. Anything more than that, there's no chance. I had zero speaking ability just because I never tried. And a lot of things I read when I first started always said, don't worry about output. Just a ton of input. So I didn't even think about trying to speak. So that's where I was at the beginning of the year. So my first video was posted April 9th, I believe, of 2025. You can go back and look at that. It's another reading video with the NHK Japanese Easy News website. So you can kind of see how my reading has improved. At that point, I was relatively confident when it came to reading. I still didn't have that many kanji under my belt, but I felt like I could kind of piece things together with the furigana above. So that's a super quick overview of where I kind of stood at the beginning of the year. And now if we look at where I am now, my videos I just started, I'm practicing reading with no furigana. I did take a few big breaks, especially last month. I probably didn't study at all. I think the break was somewhere between 30 and 45 days. So that did definitely hurt me. But I'm at the point where I feel like I can read things without furigana. I might not always get the reading correct, but I feel like I somewhat understand what's going on. My grammar, I feel like, is between the N4 and N3 range. Some days I have good days, some days I have bad days, but I feel like I'm somewhere in there. So when it comes to kanji, I'm somewhere between 800 and 1,000 under my belt. That month off definitely hurt me, especially if you look at WaniKani. I have like 2,000 reviews. As I'm catching up with these 2,000 reviews on WaniKani, if you use it, it lets you know how many kanji you know, and that number is just slowly dropping as I'm going through reviews. I think it's gone from like 900 and something to, I think I sit at like 820 now, just because there's so many combinations, so many words that just have escaped me in the past month or so from taking time off. So as far as speaking, you can look at some of my most recent videos with me speaking to ChatGPT. I'm pretty confident that I could have a very basic conversation with someone if they were patient and willing to kind of let me put things together. I feel like I have enough grammar knowledge to put some decent sentences together, but it's still a struggle because at times I feel like I still don't have a big enough vocabulary where I just can't say everything that I want to say. So looking back into January of last year, I feel like I really didn't even know anything. At that point, I didn't even know if this was something that I was going to stick with. I'd only been doing it for a few months. It was more of just a fun hobby thing. I had no idea that I was going to make a YouTube channel on it. I had no idea that I was going to enjoy it. I definitely didn't think that I was going to be at the point that I am now, being able to make sentences in my head. I didn't think that I would be able to watch any shows at all, or there are some YouTube channels now that if I watch it, I can actually understand like 80-90% of what's going on. Whereas before, I could only catch one word here, maybe 2 words there. I was getting less than 1% of what was going on. I was mostly listening at that point to kind of hear how the language was and how it flowed, but I didn't understand a lick of it. I didn't want to make this too long of a video. Personally, I'm proud of where I am now. I've touched on everything. I've gotten better at grammar, speaking, listening, reading. 2026 is going to be a big year. I do have some huge news coming for the year, but that'll come later on. I hope to keep this channel going. Posting every few days is the goal right now. I do have a lot going on in the personal life, so it won't be a day-to-day thing. I think I'll make a more comprehensive video in a few days as to what my 2026 goals are when it comes to Japanese, and I'll kind of lay out where I want to be as of this time next year. So again, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.